Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This film was written by Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, and Dave Callaham. It was directed by Joaquim dos Santos, Kemp Powers, and Justin Thompson. This is a sequel to the extremely successful Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, a film that revolutionized the animation genre with its groundbreaking visuals and storytelling ability by mixing 2D and 3D animation. The film went on to win the praise of critics and the hearts of audiences, as well as the Oscar for Best Animated Feature of 2018. The sequel follows Miles Morales in his sophomore year as Spider-Man. He catapults across the multiverse where he encounters a team of spider people charged with protecting its very existence. When the heroes clash on how to handle a new threat, Miles must redefine what it means to be a hero. Now, the first Spider-Man film, the Into the Spider-Verse, was a movie I appreciated more than I liked. I appreciated everything my eyes were seeing, visually, technically, but the story was not all there for me, and the characters weren't really the strongest. I think the strongest one was Peter B. Parker, but it just wasn't to my best liking. However, its impact in animation history, it's undeniable, and it carries significant weight. It has a very important message about inclusivity and who you choose to be. At least from what I gathered is a hero can come from anywhere. You could be a hero, an inspiration, and it doesn't matter where you come from. And I really appreciate that message. So coming off those feelings, Across the Spider-Verse had very big shoes to fill, very big expectations, especially after the trailer. I was hyped for it, man. I was really excited, and I'm very, very happy to say that this film blew those expectations away. It really surprised me. I was met with a piece of art where every single stroke from the brush was masterfully made. It was amazing. I really loved this film. Needless to say, I think it's phenomenal. It has beautiful animation, it has amazing pace, it has a level of characterization that in my opinion is different than in the first film, and I think more effective. It's films like these that remind me that a movie is made to be watched in the theaters. I watched it 4 times in the theaters because, I mean, these things only happen once, man, you know? They only happen for a couple months out of the theaters, and then that's it. I had to take advantage of the opportunity while also supporting this film. I think it's really important to do so. And watching it this many times leads me to the pace. The pace is very fast. It's at breakneck speed. There are things happening left and right and left and right. And while multiple things can definitely be happening at the same time, it never feels overwhelming. And because of this, the rewatchability factor is very, very high. While there are many action scenes in this film, there are many quiet scenes filled with so much substance and so much relatability that's introduced that wasn't in the previous film. It's very beautiful to see, and it gets you from the get-go. There's a series of scenes in the first 20 minutes that really hits. It's very powerful, and that animation just, oh, it's gorgeous. I think they grabbed everything that was great from the first film and just upped the ante, and they aced it. I cannot imagine how much work the animators had to do to pull this off, but I mean, that goes to their credit, man. The animators are really the superheroes here. They gave us something that was years in the making, and I really appreciate it. The animation was beautiful, and it can change. It has many different art styles that complement its characters and its settings. And that being said, it's the main character of the film, Miles, who's really, I mean, he's the MVP. He's a MJ in this film. Completely different from the first film. Maybe it's a growing up phase for me. Like, he's really matured into this young man. He's 15 years old, but he's put in extremely pressure situations, and it's very interesting to see how he reacts. It's what Spider-Man would do. And he's very relatable as Miles, Mask Off Miles. You know, in the Spider-Man movies, there's this common theme of balancing. I think balance is a common theme in these movies because you have to work with Spider-Man while at the same time being Peter Parker, or being Miles, or being, you know, Spider-Woman and being Gwen Stacy. And Mask Off Miles was in the foreground for a good chunk of the movie. Miles was truly amazing, and in this film, he really showcases his grit and his determination. Gwen has a lot more screen time in his film, a lot of substance. The movie dives into her relationship with Captain Stacy, her father. Their scenes are very beautiful to watch, and they're very heartfelt. It's very good. You know, the conflict in this film is not always loud. It's not always bright and flashy. It's sometimes very quiet. That's just how life is. Sometimes it's the small words that people say to each other that can mean big realizations, the conversations people have that create motivation, that drive people. And in this film, the quiet scenes are really, really well written. Even the minor characters have standout moments. A lot of the minor characters are given like a few minutes of backstory, and from those few minutes, we understand where they come from, who they are, and why they are doing what they are doing, regardless of whether we agree with it or not. And from a writing perspective, that's really productive. It adds a lot of weight when these psychologies and conflicting ideals collide. The soundtrack for the last film was pretty great. Post Malone's Sunflower was playing like everywhere in the car radio. This soundtrack is not as good as the first one, but I do believe it complements the film very well. My favorite song from it is Am I Dreaming by A$AP Rocky and Metro Boomin. It was really, really good. I listen to that one all the time. However, the film score for this movie is pretty great. I think it's one of the best film scores I've heard for an animated movie, but also for the whole year. It actually is getting a lot of recognition right now. In the Golden Globes, it got nominated for Best Film Score of any film of 2023. Great film score. There are moments in the film where the visuals and the music interlock, and the editing and the score really do this thing where they're in sync, and maybe like a cut will match with the beat of the drum. It's very satisfying, and it's a very immersive experience. The themes in this movie are very powerful, including family themes, self-determinism, a lot of parent relationship themes with their children, including Miles with his mom and dad, who get a lot more screen time in this film. I very much appreciated that. And I like their characters a lot more. I think I get to see more of them, especially from the mom. There was a scene in the movie that really hit home for me. It reminded me of my mom and her care for me. There's a monologue that is really well written for her. There's so many small things to appreciate in this film. The details, man. The animation, the references. If you love the first one for the references, you're going to love this one because you're going to have to watch this many times to catch all of them. My favorite was one of Heung-min Son, who's a Premier League soccer player for Tottenham Hotspur. That guy can play. I've been watching him for years. How he ended up in a Spider-Man movie? I'm not too sure, but I didn't complain. The voice acting in this film is phenomenal. Hailee Steinfeld is a veteran in animation now, right? I mean, she's done stuff like Arcane, which is fabulous. I have to review sometime. And now she's doing this. She has a talent for manipulating her voice. And Oscar Isaac is amazing. There are things he says that are not a simple yes and a no. Everything he says has layers to it, layered with pain and experience, and Oscar Isaac does an amazing job at conveying this complex character, which is Miguel. Now the ending. I went into this film expecting a cliffhanger because I had heard previously that it is a part 1 to a part 2. So I was fine with the cliffhanger. If you don't know there's a cliffhanger, this is not the end of this story. Please go in knowing that. I think it'll ease the positive anger you feel at the end of the movie because you just really want to see how this is going to end. And that being said, I'm really excited for the third film. I really can't wait. I'm going to be there frontline first day, going to be there watching it in the theaters because this movie is excellent. I think the film's purpose is to build up to something and they executed. Overall, my rating for this film is an A+. I know I keep giving A's, but it's because these movies have been so good. This movie is excellent. It's one of my favorite animated films. It's up there for me with Fantastic Mr. Fox, How to Train Your Dragon, My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. It's a phenomenal film, and it's a testament to how this craftsmanship and this genre of animation can be better than live action. I mean, this movie is better than some of the live action Spider-Man movies already, and it's definitely better than most of the movies of 2023 period. Thank you guys for listening and for watching. If I don't make a video by Christmas, Merry Christmas. Have a beautiful Christmas. Spend it with your family. If you like videos like these, subscribe. I'll be reviewing more movies and shows. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.